Live from Tennessee Titans training camp, Ramon, Kayla, and Will continues. RKW on 104.5 The Zone. Full crew here. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling. Joined by our good friend Burke Nihill, Titans president and CEO, as the show rolls on. Burke, good morning. How are you?
Doing great. Good to be here. Thanks for being at training camp today.
Absolutely.
Yes, fun.
We are glad to be here. Robert Walsh, should I just give you the floor?
Yes.
For your first question on Burke's dirt here?
Now, listen, I have been infatuated with that large mound of dirt that has been stacking up in front of the stadium. Now, I don't know if you guys have a plan for that. Now, I do have a marketing opportunity for you guys if you don't. But is there a plan for all of that dirt, that big-ass mound of dirt out there?
Well, let's say this. We're open to ideas. If you've got some places to put that dirt, we've already taken off close to 20,000 truckloads of that dirt. And that's the dirt that we still have to get some of it off, and then some of it will be used to backfill the site once the foundation is poured.
Well, listen, selfishly, I would like it to be called Burt's Dirt. And I know you might have a vested interest for it to be Burke's Dirt, but if we're trying to have a marketing opportunity, I think it should be Titans fans' dirt, where you can have the dirt for where the new stadium is going to be. Anytime they pull up the field at a place, anytime they take the seats out of a stadium, it's always like, get your history of the stadium.
Yeah.
You should sell little vials of that dirt and the dirt before the new Titans Stadium.
Little mason jars.
Sure, it's mason jars is even better.
Yeah.
I like that. So selfishly, if you don't find anything out, I would like to plant a flag right in the top of that thing. I don't know the structural integrity of the tower of that dirt, but if you can't think of nothing else, just remember Burt's Dirt. Let me get a piece of that.
Burt's Dirt is the leader in the clubhouse.
Love that.
Wow. I just want to know,
that.
Burke, how many times a day do people come up to you randomly on the street and just say, "Now I've got a marketing idea for you"?
But hey, we're open for business. We'll listen to any and all ideas and implement less of them, but we'll listen to all of them.
Fair enough. Burke Nihill, Titans president and CEO, our guest. Exciting. Let's start there with the new stadium. Exciting seeing the progress and the live stream and everything. What is the latest as dirt is moved and that process continues for you guys right now?
Yeah, Burt's Dirt is almost completely excavated off of the future stadium site. It's close to 400 cubic yards of dirt has had to be moved to pave the way for the new stadium. We are hauling off most of that dirt, and you can now, for fans who will be at the stadium this Saturday or anytime soon, if you can get over to the east side of the stadium and get up to one of the ramps, you get a beautiful bird's eye view of the stadium site. There are places where there's concrete that's been poured, and you've got now a second story that's coming into shape in quarter of the building. You can kind of get a sense for the shape of the field and eye out where the 50-yard line is going to be. I got my first tour last week walking the site. There's close to 500 people working on that site.
Wow.
And it is really, really an impressive operation, and obviously makes it all feel very real. This is coming.
So I love this mosh pit idea that you guys have for the new Nissan Stadium on the area behind the goalposts, and this being sort of like what we saw in London at Tottenham, right? Like a supporter section you would see in soccer. I know the Los Angeles Clippers have planned something similar to this in their new arena out there in L.A. Where did this idea come from, and how can people be involved in this process?
Yeah, I mean, you asked the question earlier about how often do we get marketing ideas, and I know I do this, Amy does this. We love talking to our fans, and we have some incredible super fans, dressing up like chili peppers and superheroes and that sort of thing. And when you talk to them, some of these ideas come out of the ground. And from the beginning, we wanted this building to be a place that had a great home field advantage, that had a different sort of energy than any other building in the NFL. And so the idea was let's have a space that's central, it's visible to most of the stadium, and we centralize as many of our super fans as possible. It's really, at some point we had a stage up on the top of the building, and we brought that down right into the middle of that first level with the idea that this crew of super fans can be a mosh pit, right? They will actually, just like at a concert, there'll be the energy for whenever there's anybody performing on that stage. But we're really excited. It's Applications are open through September 1st. You just have to submit some information and a video. Tell us why you think you belong there. I'm holding off my 17-year-old son. I actually think you do very, very well there. He's kind of hard to watch games with at times because he is so intense. And we think this will be the nerve center of the new stadium and central to home field advantage.
I can hear my parents texting me now, like, why don't you don't need to come with us anymore.
Yeah, right.
Just go
You
on.
apply for that.
That's right.
No doubt. Titans CEO and President Burke Nihill with us this morning. Burke, before we get to the new stadium, the operation of working around the building of this one, man, how is park and game day experience going to be for folks that are coming into Nissan currently?
Yeah, look, we came through concert season, and I'm incredibly proud of the work that dozens of people at the Titans have put into making sure that this is still a good experience for people coming, despite it being different than it has been in the past. Partnered with other city organizations to come along and make sure that this is something that's a good experience. And through concert season, it proved that this can be done and done well, done with excellence. Our first preseason game was the same. I mean, the key is that when our fans come to the game, just making a plan in advance.
Yeah.
I know I've been on the show in the past and talked about this, but for years and years and years, getting into the parking lots and out of the parking lots has been consistently the worst rated experience for Titans games because there's so many cars coming and going at the same time. So this is an opportunity to reset and actually have people rethinking how they get to the game. And so there certainly is parking on site for some people who have parking on site. There are 20,000 parking spaces within a mile of the stadium. If you go to nissanstadium.com/transportation, we'll actually connect you with those parking sites, and you can get a place to park in advance. We've got a train that comes from Mount Juliet. We've got a shuttle that heads to the state lots on the other side of downtown. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be giving more details about 4 WeGo shuttles that will allow people to get on a WeGo shuttle at different parts around the city, or just even park someplace downtown and get on a WeGo shuttle. We're working on making sure that that's free for people who get on those shuttles. But the net result is there's lots and lots of different ways to get to the game. It expands that blast radius, and so far so good. And we'll keep humbly learning lessons and making it better as we go.
Burke, I also had a new experience this weekend, too, going into the stadium. There were new, I guess, checkpoints as far as how they were more seamless than I would have given it credit for guys like myself and Kayla and Will who work in the media. You show your badge and go. But, like, the ability to get in and get out of the stadium. It could be facial recognition. Is that something that's going to carry over to the new stadium as far as ticket scanning, getting in, concession stands now where you just place your product on the table, scans it, and go? Is that some of the things we're trying to do moving forward?
Everything is on the table, Ramon, and I think here's something that's interesting when you look at it. 2027 is a long time away, so I don't even know what the technology will be at that point, but we are absolutely committed to having this be an incredibly convenient experience for our fans when we get to the new stadium. And there's a lot of things that we're doing now to test some of those technologies and see how they're working. So you see things, for example, like 2 years ago, maybe it's 3 years ago now, we introduced Evolve security scanners. So it's much, much easier for people to walk straight through as opposed to having to empty their pockets in the old magnetometers. Huge customer experience benefit. You do now have options of using facial recognition to get through certain checkpoints in the stadium. Much, much easier to get through. We're looking forward to a new stadium where we're going to have frictionless markets. So not sure exactly what the technology will be, but we'll have the ability to take transaction times at concession stands down from a couple minutes, 3 minutes, where you're missing some of the action, down to 30, 40 seconds, get in, get out, enabled by technology. If anybody went to our new team store, it's still in the same location, but it's been redesigned. We now have RFID technology that makes the checkout process so much faster. The average transaction time I heard was something like 35, 40 seconds getting through the team store. And if you go to the team store, you know that's important because there can be a real crush at certain times. So everything is on the table, making sure that we're implementing everything to make the fan experience as great as possible.
And real quick to follow that up, with that many people, the safety of everybody going in and out of the stadium will be top tier in the sense of just knowing that, hey, if your kids are walking around, the ability to be able to navigate and be safe inside of the new Nissan Stadium is a part of it also, because it's indoors now, and people want to walk around and see stuff.
Yeah, the new stadium will be a totally different experience for sure, and so I mean, we would love for safety and security to be invisible to our fans as much as possible, but they need to know that we focus on that as much as anything.
Yeah.
That is a first priority. But to your point about being able to move around, this new stadium, I actually had a conversation with a longtime fan, was a founder, PSL member, just 2 days ago, and was describing what would be the pregame and postgame experience available to her and her family in the new stadium. And this light bulb went off for her about all of these different things that are going to be a part of the new Nissan Stadium that are not only different from the current stadium, but I think they're different from anything you'd ever see at an NFL stadium or a college football stadium. Really, really interesting experiences, things to see, places to socialize. We're excited for people to start to see these things we've been working on and dreaming about their experience at the new Nissan Stadium.
Titans president and CEO Burke Nihill joining us this morning on Arcade Dub. Burke, so when it comes to this year and, next year, we're still in that old stadium at Nissan Stadium. Still want to see the fans out here. What can you tell us about what we can look forward to this year? Maybe any changes with the production of things, or what can fans expect to get excited about? Except for obviously the product.
Well, yeah, that's where I was going to start.
Yeah.
So I think that is the most important thing. We can have new visual elements. We can have new convenience that we add in. But the most important thing that's happening at a Titans game is Titans football.
Yeah.
And every year is a fresh opportunity to have a new team, new players, new processes, that sort of thing. But this year in particular, everything is different. Obviously, a new coaching staff. There's been a new approach to attacking the offseason, and I think you're going to see an offense and a defense that is just much different, and it's an exciting brand of football. You've got an offensive-minded head coach who's had incredible success in Cincinnati, and he's bringing that now to Nashville. You've got a defensive coordinator who has a really aggressive approach to defense, and there are great new players both from free agency and a great draft class that are going to be on the field. So to me, that is the primary thing that fans should be expecting that is fresh and new this year is a different brand of Titans football.
And you can already feel it around the city, and I feel it with fans that I talk with. That excitement is already started. Whether you're out here in practices or you went to that preseason game, you do feel that, which is really positive. When you guys do your work, we see what's out here on the field all the time. Take me inside of the work that goes on in there and maybe the things we don't see on the field.
Yeah, I mean, look, starting with the football operation, I think what you've seen this offseason is not to be cliche about some of the things that came up this offseason, but you see this unified, aligned approach to building a football team, to developing a football team, to preparing a football team to play. And so the approach to free agency, the approach to the draft was just really first class. And I think what you're seeing is free agents responding to that. You see a draft class that is, so far in training camp, proving to be a really great draft class. It's been really, really fun to watch. There's other developments that we've seen this offseason with an increased approach to using data analytics and sports science, a new strength and conditioning staff that's really embracing those sorts of things. So that's the day-to-day. I mean, that's 8, 9, 10 hours a day of work across dozens of people that are trying to ultimately deliver a championship football team to the Nashville, Tennessee
aligned
area.
mindset.
That's
I
right.
think that's what we get from you guys here in this new staff for sure.
It feels really, really good in the Tennessee Titans practice facility these days. There is definitely a freshness, but Brian Callahan, you can do all your research on somebody, you can get references, you can do hours and hours of interviews with someone, but you don't really know completely what you have until someone gets in the building. I mean, I think that's true of a marketing position, it's true of an accounting position, but when you're talking about a head coach, it's really, really important that you have a really good recruiting process and you make a wise decision. Since Brian got here, we thought that we got this right. We crushed it. Brian Callahan is the real deal. He sets a tone as a leader. He's as smart as they come. He is, low ego, high impact. And so I think the future is bright. I think the present's bright too, but I think the future is especially bright given this aligned approach to the football organization with a head coach like Brian Callahan.
Well, Burke, your quarterback has had a business venture start this week. Were you given like a free bottle? I'm told this is already sold out again, his mayonnaise fragrance. I mean, from the business side of the organization, I know you've got to be pleased with the business venture of your QB right now.
I will say it is quite refreshing. Not in a
maybe
not in a refreshing mayo coffee sense or whatever it is, but it's really neat to have a player that people are taking notice of and is getting attention even outside the Nashville market. Will's a great player. He's a great leader for this football team. I think it'd be really fun for the country to take notice of him as someone that is one of the future stars of the National Football League.
That's also what helps the brand. The Shield is one thing, but individually teams want to be known as a brand, and having a quarterback be out front like that has to be like, I won't say the ultimate goal, but it's ideal for you to say Tennessee Titans Will Levis.
We all grew up in different places and had different teams that we rooted for. Probably at the end of the day, I got a brick in my office, and it's from the old Chicago Stadium. I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, and I remember what I felt when I got that brick in 7th grade when they tore down that stadium, and it was just unbelievable. Like, oh my gosh. This is from the building where Michael Jordan played, and I've got a brick from it because Michael Jordan was my hero, right? And I had posters of football players and basketball players and baseball players who were my heroes. And at the end of the day, it's a real privilege that we get to work in this business where we're creating heroes for people.
And real quick to follow up on that, somebody asked a really good question in our chat. As far as outside of the stadium, will there be, commemorative statues, or is there plans outside for the history of the Tennessee Titans, Oilers, to be for the fan experience also? Have you even had that conversation?
We have had conversations, and there's nothing final to announce, but it's really important to Amy Adams-Strunk. We're an organization started in 1960. We have a rich history, and we've got to continue to do a good job of telling that story to our current fans, but also to generations of fans who haven't found us yet. So we absolutely will have some storytelling, some commemoration, some celebration of the history of the Titans and Oilers.
Beautiful.
Burke Nihill, our guest here this morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. As you guys host Seattle, joint practices continuing, you're able to watch practice and kind of see the way Rand Carthon has built this team. What do you like about what's going on the football field as you continue to watch this team through camp?
Yeah, I feel a lightness about the team, but yet an intensity. It's fun to watch practice, and it's been a lot of fun to watch the new players, to watch the coaches working, and I think it's going to translate to a really fun season on the field at Nissan Stadium.
We're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And I know Bert's looking forward to his vial of dirt, hopefully, that he'll be able to just go excavate himself and get out here. Burke, we always appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
Definitely.
Appreciate you having me.
Thanks, Burke.
Absolutely.
There's Titans President and CEO Burke Nihill. We will wrap up the show coming up next here on Ramon, Kayla, and Will.